defending the title successfully 2 times, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, there you see Joe Attell and Talon, the elite, making their way to the ring. The challengers.
Absolutely, and as is the proper custom, the challengers coming out, are going against the champions, but Mr. Talon is a champion, as it were, the Primero champion here at Fighting Spirit Wrestling, and that belt is on full display there. As indestructible Joe Attell and Talon make their way into the ring, looking to become champions here tonight against the Elements, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Talon could be holding 2 belts by the end of this contest.
Absolutely. Mr. Talon, already the champion, looking for more hardware, as it were.
Well, they're going to have quite the task to take out the Elements. The Elements, the FSW Tag Team Champions, are no easy wins.
Absolutely. The Elements, one of the more technical duos you'll ever see in the sport there.
The Elements come out attacking the crowd.
And they're showing off the hardware, ladies and gentlemen. The Elements, the champions, here they are. The champions in the ring.
That's right, Pyro Pulse and Iceberg, the tag team champions, throwing out shirts and merchandise to the audience. That's quite generous.
Wonderful fans here in Brooklyn, ladies and gentlemen.
Iceberg's been working overtime because it's freezing outside.
Well, perhaps he's a little bit of Jack Frost.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but these guys all business as they enter the ring here.
These guys are fighting champions.
Introducing first, the challengers. At a total weight of 385 pounds, they are the team of the indestructible Joey Tell and the FSW Primero champion Talon, the Elite. And introducing their opponents, at a total weight of 365 pounds, they are the current, reigning, and defending Fighting Spirit Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the team of Pyro Pulse and Iceberg, the Elements!
There they are in the ring, ladies and gentlemen, the champions. They are the champions, the tag team champions of Fighting Spirit Wrestling, and this may be their toughest match to date. These 2 guys in the ring, some of the toughest competitors in Fighting Spirit Wrestling is Talon and indestructible Joe Attell. And we could see the titles change hands here tonight.
We certainly may. The referee now checking the Elements, and of course, Talon and Joe Attell are hungry to get their hands on the belts.
Absolutely, and looks like Joe Attell will start this match off here. And the bell's rung, ladies and gentlemen, the action has ensued. Joe Attell taking a boxer's stance there as he squares off in the center of the ring. Quickly, Joe Attell asserting his dominance here.
Yeah, Joe Attell, I was speaking to earlier, and he was telling me that he has been a friend of the Elements for about 15 years. A guy like Joe Attell brought the Elements into the wrestling business, has helped train them, but now the Elements are the tag team champions, and he's a bit jealous, I would think, because Joe Attell, as does Talon, oh, there's a back elbow. Joe Attell and Talon both want to be the tag team champions here at FSW, and the Elements have those belts, so friendship will be put aside.
Well, what we're seeing here is an FSW generational battle. We have the Elite, who have been here for a long time, versus the Elements, who are very fresh faces. Here in FSW, at least.
That's true, Dyson. The Elements are relatively new here, but already a well-oiled machine and the tag team champion. Right. Joe Attell misses the elbow drop there. And there's an arm drag by Pyro Pulse. Another one. Pyro sends Attell down, and there's a cross body block, goes for the quick cover, and Attell able to kick out. But perhaps the student is trying to teach the teacher right now.
Absolutely, and Mr. Attell, with the Yankees symbol there, that reminds me of when I was a guest of the late Mr. George Steinbrenner on his yacht in the south of France about 15 years ago. It was unbelievable.
Well, that's very impressive.
Were you on there serving drinks?
The man was quite a gracious host there. Absolutely a gracious host, as was Mr. Steinbrenner.
Well, Here's a double team maneuver by the Elements. Both Elements in the ring, sending Talon in. There's a double hip toss. They send him to the mat.
Absolutely. Perfectly executed teamwork on display here as the Elements working on Talon in the center of the ring, and they'll attempt a pin here. Only a 2 count.
Now, gentlemen, I want to ask you, do you think that Joe Attell and Talon can get along as well as the Elements? I mean, the Elements are actually brothers, so they're going to know each other inside and out. Joe Attell and Talon have had issues with each other in the past. Are they going to be able to get along?
Absolutely. We've seen Mr. Attell and Mr. Talon rivals in the past. We saw them reunite the Elite, as it were, because they're hungry for the titles here, and I think that will take precedence over whatever issues they have as chaps.
I'd say it's all about how much they want these titles. If they really want the titles, they'll be smart and stick together.
Well, that's a good point, Dyson. You know, Joe Attell is obsessed with those title belts. He wants those tag titles. Of course, he and Talon were former FSW heavyweight champions, and Talon looking to be the first Triple Crown champion to get those tag belts to add to his collection.
Tag team champions. If Joe Attell's, if he's obsessed with that, it's probably the most normal thing he's obsessed with.
Well, Joe Attell, certainly a strange individual. I mean, you know, when I made my debut here a year ago, the main event was Joe Attell versus Aldwin in a hardcore match. And I've seen Joe Attell in so many crazy matches since then. And he's just a wild man taking it to Pyropulse. Even though there's no bad blood between these two teams, Attell, I wouldn't put it past him to do anything in that ring to win those tag title belts.
Hey, a lot of things happen during the course of the match. They may not be bad blood now, but by the end, these guys will be hating each other.
Very good point, Dyson. There you see Talon with a power move driving Pyropulse down.
Absolutely. All bets are off when the titles are on display, when the titles are rather up for grabs there. All bets are off. These guys want to see the hardware around their waist. So we know Joe Attell is one of the most hardcore wrestlers in Fighting Spirit Wrestling, in independent wrestling, in professional wrestling. We saw him on display when he took on the legendary Sabu, another ECW great legend there.
Look at this.
That's true. There's a bow and arrow submission maneuver by Talon. Pyropulse, I'm a bit surprised, was able to kick out of the Falcon Arrow, but he turns it around into the pinning combination. Now, Wesley, I want to ask you something. Would you say, and look at that, would you say that this is the toughest test for the Elements since they became the tag team champions versus the Elite here tonight?
I would have to say this is the toughest match they've had to deal with. Two guys who've been champions, who've been Primero as well as heavyweight champion. These guys, not an easy team to contend with. So I would say yes, absolutely. This is the toughest test they've had so far.
And what would you say, Dyson?
Well, we saw them win the championships in the triple threat match, and that's tough in itself. But this is a team-on-team situation. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
That's a good point.
Absolutely, I have to agree with Mr. Steranko there. This is a proper tag team match. 2 against 2, not a 3-way. And we'll see what each tag team can do here. As Joe Attell bloody thrashes him in a leg drop there. And attempted pinfall here.
Oh, very close to a 3 count there.
Unbelievable. And Mr. Jace, if that was a Japanese pin, maybe we'd see new champions here at this point.
Very good point, Wesley.
Or perhaps not. I don't really know with the Japanese targeting rather.
Well, there's a Russian leg sweep. The Japanese pin seemed to differ in different situations. Sometimes it was faster, sometimes it was slower. So I'm not sure, but this is traditional pace counting in this match, and Pyropulse able to continuously kick out.
Unbelievable, but Talon there quite upset with the referee, as that was quite close, quite close there.
Yeah, we're going to see these nice guys get a little testy. I got to say this, though. Pyropulse has been in the ring for a very long time now, and his fire's getting distinguished.
Well, that's why Iceberg's trying to get the crowd behind the Elements right now. Iceberg itching to get in that ring.
Absolutely, and though he's only a few feet away, it must seem like a million miles when Talon has you in a submission hold. But
well, this may be Pyropulse's chance. Talon, I think, may have hurt his neck after that backdrop, or back suplex, I should say. And look at Pyro Pulse. Oh, he misses a kick. Talon with a waist lock picks him up. Go behind by Pyro. Sends him into the ropes, rolls him up. Only a 1 count, but he finally makes the tag to Iceberg. Iceberg's in.
I don't know, Talon. I don't think Talon meant to do that.
Iceberg almost locker room fresh here as he's having a go here at Talon in the center of the ring. And clotheslines him to the floor, and here's a pin, 1, 2, and indestructible Joe Attell will break it up there, and he'll start to work. He's not the legal man in the ring. Talon in the center of the ring. And the referee,
ref, get one of these guys out of there.
Clearly not in control.
What do you mean? The Elements had some double going on before. Why can't the Elite?
Well, there you see Iceberg able to take out both of the Elite with a double drop kick from high up in the air. Now you see Iceberg sending Attell in, reversal.
There's a reversal by Joe Attell.
And the
Teamwork, folks.
You've seen the teamwork on display, as Mr. Steranko alluded to. I absolutely must agree with Mr. Steranko. The teamwork employed by Joe Attell and Talon is unbelievable. I'm not taking anything from the Elements, but to see these two guys work as a team, the titles are on the line. It's all they can think about. They're all business here, ladies and gentlemen, as they will work on him in the corner.
You know, Pyro's not in shape yet to be in this match. He still needs to recover some more.
But you're seeing the teamwork on display. You're seeing
Look at this.
the veterans taking control of the match here as experience.
and look at
Unbelievable.
Joe Attell with a cannonball in the corner, using Talon as a launching pad.
Unbelievable. Wolf Talon's back, perfectly executed maneuver there.
We're going to have new champions, folks.
We may. Only a 1 count though. Referee, I think, was out of position for a second, but it allowed Iceberg to get the shoulder up.
And absolutely. And what's going on here? You've got two guys in the ring. No one knows who the legal man in the ring is. We have to have some intervention, as it were, by the referee.
Well, I'm begging the referee to get control, but there's an ace crusher by Iceberg.
Wow.
That could be it.
Oh, my.
Oh, only a
Only
2 count.
Ladies and gentlemen, quite close, as it were. Iceberg.
The Elements do have the ability to pull wins out of nowhere. We've seen it before.
Absolutely.
That's true. Iceberg has gotten many a victory with that ace crusher, but he goes up to the top rope. And he misses the senton.
Nobody home there.
Nobody in the North Pole tonight.
And here it is, ladies and gentlemen, the calling call of Talon. Not too many men.
Look at this.
Ladies
Some
and gentlemen.
interference. What is this?
Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. And what has gone on here? What has happened here?
This match breaking down.
Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. An absolute Donnybrook taking place in the center of the ring.
Talon hitting the Hawkeye. That could have been it, but then these two mysterious individuals taking their way, just assaulting all the competitors in this match.
Unbelievable. And where is Mr. Stockpole? Where is Mr. Stockpole?
Very good question, Wesley.
What's going on here?
Stackpole is nowhere to be seen. And who the hell are these guys?
Unbelievable.
Should we call security or something? I don't even know.
Well, we need to call somebody.
And what's going on here? This guy's talking to Talon like he's a nobody in the center of the ring. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on?
I have no idea, gentlemen.
The last time I was this confused, I drank 3 bottles of scotch. I don't know what's going on here.
Well, whoever these guys are, the fans unfamiliar with them, we have no idea who they are, but they just assaulted 4 of the top stars in FSW.
And ladies and gentlemen, they're not going to the